So leading up to the canonization, we still had a decent number of brothers, maybe 8 or so brothers that had some working capacity at Marist. I know they were really excited. There were some of us that were hoping that we'd get the opportunity to go over to Rome. I wound up going along with John Mortimer from our board of directors and Vince Andiorio, who was a former Marist brother and a lay faculty member at Marist. And we took 7 students. Joe Kelly, our student council president, Steve Davidson, who started his career working at Marist High School and now is principal at Immaculate Conception, Chuck Lamphere, who's a current board member, just to name a few. But we were all still kind of learning about who this Champagnat was, because with the brothers around back in the 70s, so many of us, we didn't really hear about Marcellin Champagnat. I don't think we realized how great an event this was going to be until we got there, but I know we were excited also to go to St. Peter's Square to go to Rome. So it was definitely something that we were looking forward to. I can remember arriving in Rome, and there was a lot of excitement. And the night before the canonization, there was a mass that the Marist Brothers in the United States attended. There was about 200 of them or so. I don't remember the exact number, and they all sat in the front. And I can remember at the end of the mass, just the power of the brothers as they sang a song that was so close to them, the Salve Regina. And I think we all just kind of sat back and listened to these voices all together, and you could hear the excitement in their voice. The actual day of the canonization, I remember seeing the Pope, even though it was at such a great distance, and that was exciting. There was a contingent of Marist brothers who were called up on the large altar during the actual ceremony. Again, pretty exciting to see. There were probably hundreds of, maybe 100,000 people in St. Peter's Square. I don't know the exact total, but it was jammed, and there was something about seeing that 5-story picture up against St. Peter's when you walked in. I know there were a couple other saints, people being canonized. I don't remember who they were, to be honest with you. We were so focused on Champagnat, but clearly a lot of excitement. I feel like the ceremony went by, just like that. For me, the most significant moment took place the morning of the canonization and not at the actual event. All the U.S. contingent stayed at the same hotel, and all these buses pulled up the morning of the canonization to take us all over to St. Peter's. And I can't tell you how many buses there were, but I remember kind of being assigned to get on a certain bus, and I did. And the Marist Brothers are in 83 different countries, and they are run by, technically, the Superior General oversees all of the Marist Brothers. And at that time, a U.S. brother, Brother Sean Salmon, was the Superior General. And I have to be honest with you, I had never met him before, but the way people talked about him, I mean, he was the rock star in the Marist world. Everybody wanted to be around him. Everybody wanted to talk to him. He met us at the hotel. And again, there were hundreds of people there at that hotel waiting to get on buses. I got on a bus. I was sitting about 2/3 of the way back, and Brother Sean got on our bus, and everybody was, saying hello, greeting him. And as he walked down the aisle, he stopped by my seat, the seat that was empty next to me, and he said, "Is anybody sitting here?" And I said, "No," and he sat down, and we talked the whole way there. And that was, I still remember that moment. It was such a great moment for me to see that he wanted to maybe get to know me, somebody that he didn't know. Since then, he went back to Marist College, and after being the Superior General, and he worked there, and I had countless times to meet him and have conversations with him, and it just told me what Champagnat was about: simplicity, and building that family spirit, because that's what Sean did for me that day. And I would say that we were friends thereafter, and ran into him a number of times and had great conversations with him. And unfortunately, he passed away a couple of months ago, but that's the most significant moment to me for that event. Well, after 24 years since the canonization, if there's one word that I would look back on and summarize that experience with, it would be the word family. It's probably overused in society today, but I know it's a word that the Marist brothers and those of us who work at Marist High School take pretty seriously. You felt like you were part of this Marist family because there were 83 countries represented, and when people throughout the ceremony started to chant Champagne, Champagne, that told you a lot. That told you it was more than just the Americans. It was people from all over the world that were excited, just as excited as we were to see Marcellin canonized. And you did have that special feeling of being part of this family. So that's probably the word I would use to sum up the experience, and I think it continues today.